Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Control. If you're digging my new outfit, this is the Janitor's Assistant's outfit you get for finishing all of Ati's small side quests, which I did while I was just vibing really hard one night, and I ended up platinuming the game. Anyway, on with the foundation. Let's touch the nail. Repair the nail / link to prevent astral consumption / collision. This is the director's duty / plot. Authorized for a single new tool / upgrade. Use it to save the foundation / us / bureau. Oh, I like the silhouette that cuts. So we have 2 new abilities technically, but we have to choose only one for now. And the left is shape and manipulate. The right gives your gun this fracture ability. This is not a permanent choice. And by that I mean we will be able to go back for that other one later on, but you just get this non-linear option of which one to go with first and which one to pick up second. You should feel honored / handled. So this explains some of those green crystalline growths that we saw all through the cave network. So with this ability to shape and manipulate them, really they have just kind of binary states. They're either in the wall or in the ground or extended. Now, coming up, we'll see that this also has some combat applications, which is pretty cool. I think that's nifty. It feels good. It's a little bit limiting in that there are only very, very specific locations where this can be used. But then again, they're fixed to specific spots, but they are plentiful, so you do get plenty of use out of this ability in the DLC. That, and they also just use it to add a bunch of additional platforming.
Okay, let's review. This broken pillar is called the nail. It was broken by something, and now the astral plane is bleeding into the foundation, which will destroy the oldest house, the bureau, and everyone inside. I need to find 4 locks, or keys, or whatever, to stop that from happening. But I'm the director. I've handled worse. This should be simple. Ish. You with me?
Look at her being so self-assured. That's a pretty good summary and a good lead-in to something that I wanted to talk about today, which is that I think we tangled a lot of metaphors up in the finale of the base game, and I kind of touched on a lot of different readings, but kind of chaotically and haphazardly, which is partially my fault and partially fine, actually. It's just fun, and Control is a game that's really narrative heavy, but also heavily obfuscated. So it lends itself to these kinds of chaotic scattershot moments of like, oh, does this mean this, or this, or this? It's really fun when you get that unfocused burst of insight. It means that the game is filling your head with possibilities. Plus, there's no such thing as one single thematically pure reading of a text. Stories contain multitudes. But I do want to sort them out a little bit and hammer down on one reading inspired by a conversation in that episode's comments that's largely to do with Jesse's character arc. And this concept that I kept going on about called self-actualization. Oh yeah, there's the warehouse. By the way, I think these, you can choose the base camp or the warehouse in whatever order you want. They thought the best way to store everything was just this enormous, rectangular concrete silo. Monolithic, even. I don't think we have a recording.
Badge? Looks so old. Hope will definitely want to see this.
Oh yeah, we'll be showing that and a couple other badges to Pope. They are actually for an upcoming side quest. So Jesse. Oh, self-actualization, actually. It's becoming your best self. It's striving for those aspirational life goals and becoming, like, truly existentially fulfilled. You might have heard of Abraham Maslow and his hierarchy of needs. If you haven't, it's ironically a pyramid that's divided into 5 segments, and each one represents a different type of need that we have, and they're arranged by their priority according to Maslow. With physiological needs being the most urgent things that we have to take care of, and thus making up the foundation of the pyramid, and then at the top is self-actualization. And what he posited was that you need to have all of your other needs addressed before you stand much of a chance striving for self-actualization. You needed to meet those different needs in order.
To leave an ID card, but okay.
Now, the thing is, Maslow introduced his pyramid in the early 1940s, and psychology has advanced a little bit in the interim 80 years. So naturally, it was an imperfect theory, but I think the underlying assumption is pretty reasonable, that you can't be your best self until you've addressed your other needs. Not just physiological, but also needs for security, your social needs. We are inherently social animals. We're neurochemically predisposed towards socialization, towards bonding, towards empathy, towards cooperation.
Another ID card. For a cartographer.
28 days now spent inside what we're calling the oldest house. Northmore insists on it. I'm too tired to ask why. I'm not sleeping well. Her orders. Me and my research team have established a permanent examination lab in the Foundation. I basically live down here now, like the obedient head of research Father raised me to be. I spend my days investigating that odd pillar where Northmore found the handgun. The work was half-hearted at first, I admit. But then I discovered numerous non-Aristotelian energy channels converging at its base. Ley lines, dragon roads, Hyligalinean, call them what you want. But this pillar is the crossroads. I started building something. Equal parts talisman and technology. An array that can impose order on the ley junctions. That's the idea, at least. You'll see when I'm done. I prefer to work away from the pillar. I'm not the only one who feels like that thing has eyes.
Ash's Chronicles and the barren nature of these caves make the Foundation really tense to me. The sense of dread is really strong in this DLC, even compared to the base game. And it helps that the delivery from their voice actor is tremendous as well. They do a great job. But I was saying we're neurochemically wired through this chemical called oxytocin that is secreted in our hypothalamuses. And it makes us happy when we do things like spend time with loved ones or hang out with friends, or even just when a stranger flashes you a warm, welcoming smile. This is a need. You need validation. You need socialization. You need love. You need warmth. You need to feel included and valid. And that can work to our detriment because if you're lonely enough, if you're emotionally vulnerable enough and desperate enough, that's how structures like cults prey on people. They prey on the emotionally vulnerable. But that speaks to how strong this need for bonding and companionship and just the validation that others provide.
Entry day plus 51. Northmore has ordered an all-hands search for objects similar to the service weapon. He claims there are more in the house, though I don't see how he's so certain. He's been strange lately, talking about joining greater causes, and frequently mentioning the pyramid. After pressing him, he finally described this pyramid to me. Inverted, black, mathematically perfect. Oddly enough, Adam and the other id have shown me numerous inverted triangles painted on the cave walls. Surely there's a connection, but I don't see it yet. As far as occult symbols go, triangles are by no means rare. Flood, Levi, Kroll, they used that shape like it was going out of fashion. Standing on their base, triangles signify stability and strength. Inverted on their points, they represent conflict and stagnation. Of course, the orientation is just a matter of perspective. Looking at the pyramid from below gives you one, from above another. Northmore says he looks up at the inverted pyramid. I have to wonder, is anyone standing over it, looking down?
Yeah, I think this gets to what makes this whole game unsettling, and kind of starts to put a fine point on it. I think that's what I'm really digging about it. And still, it just reaches up into the sky. So yeah, we're still talking about self-actualization as it relates to Jesse. I was saying, on top of all that, you also need to be internally okay. You need to feel alright about yourself. If you're depressed or anxious, like I am, or you just have low self-esteem, it's really hard to aspire further. It's really hard to hit that self-actualization stage. I think Jesse was having trouble crossing that threshold, and the game was the story of her doing that, of her finding purpose and connection and doing something that she finds satisfaction in. And overcoming her own internal... Oh, hello. Ooh. I really do not want to get shot by that. Sniper. Okay, we're good. Yeah, so she came into this with a lot of internal doubts, and I think that sequence where she's just working as a new hire at just a regular office, that didn't actually do anything. They were just on the edge of it. I think that sequence is really telling in that regard. How small and mediocre she felt. How much she felt like she didn't fit in normal society. As for another reading that has more to do with the structure of the FBC and cops and fascism, let's put a pin in that until the credits roll, because the Foundation, as we've already seen, is expounding upon all that, giving us more to work with.
That damn gun. Faden. Not sure she's ready.
I'm here, aren't I? I saved the Bureau once, and I'll do it again.
I've served under 2 directors. 3 now, I suppose. Trench and I worked our way up together. We made it through the tough cases, The bad days, the casualties. He was the epitome of a good agent. Smart, decisive, selfless. And he picked up that damn gun. Becoming director is a formal process overseen by the board. Lots of ritual and mystery. After that, key staff provide detailed briefs on all classified matters, past and present. But with Faden, well, there's no protocol for field promotion. The girl's smart, has a good head on her shoulders. I'm trusting her to handle the hiss upstairs, while I hold them off here. All this shit with the nail, the board, I'm not sure she's ready. Besides, I work better alone.
So when Trench, who was a good man, picked up the service weapon, he changed. All cops are bastards. Oh, this is a good memo. This is a skin-crawling report about a largely incidental AWE somewhere called Meteor Hill that ended up badly scarring and disfiguring a bunch of kids who came in contact with this material that it was freely sublimating between solid and gas. But the part for me that's really chilling about it, and in line with the themes that we're talking about, is the FBC as a public knowledge, and what was it? Ah, damn it. It's public knowledge and information, I think? It's a propaganda sector. Oh. And that kind of brings us full circle. With my point from earlier being that I don't think that this reading the story being about Jesse's process of self-actualization, I don't think that's actually at odds with the larger story and its critique of these power structures. And speaking of, let's recap where we're at, including the stuff that we picked up recently in the Foundation. Like how the FBC Operation Paperclipped a Nazi scientist who was on good terms with Hitler to help them map the foundation of the oldest house. Or how the board, this upper class of beings who are few in number but hold all the power, endowed the FBC with a gun called the service weapon and deputized and authorized them to violently enforce not justice, not peace, but what the board... Oh wow, that got all of them. What the board wants them to enforce. Oh shit. Shit. I backed myself into a corner. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Threw his pickaxe. I forgot they did that. If you watch the intermission episode... Remember the hotline... Oh, hold on. The hotline monologue from the board where they were like, oh, by the way, the former, who's probably a former board member, is starting their own enterprise. It's going to compete with ours, so we need you to commit corporate espionage and sabotage them. That is the will of the board. That's what we're here for. Any kind of enforcement of order or any kind of notion of justice or anything like that, that is secondary to our main objective, which is doing what the board wants us to do. We are here doing this at the behest of the board. And some more about the tree etchings. We had a theory earlier that, from one of the memos, that the oldest house may have once taken the form of a tree, and it pulls from all sorts of different mythos across numerous cultures that all have some sort of tree symbolism involved. It's how we entered the Foundation in the first place, that tree etching in Auntie's vacation spot. His beach. His concrete beach. Also, I like how a lot of this ascent is taking the form of this spiral around the outside of the monolith of a warehouse. Gives you a little bit more activity than just doing the same thing over and over with the elevator. But also the elevator does kind of anchor all of this. And I think I might... Actually, I think I can jump up and just melee this or charge it. But also, let's get the elevator up here, because I think if that doesn't work, that's how I'm meant to shoot that one. But let's just see if this reaches through. Holy shit, it does. That's pretty cool. I was only 50% sure that would work. Now, where is this last node? Because normally they're revealed by a super, super obvious red glow. But I am not seeing this, and I do not remember where this could even be. Tricky video game. There we go. We can grab the... Why would I come back here? We can grab the battery and be on our way. One floor at a time. Oh yeah, there's this too. There is... Oh, I can probably break this. Cool. I did not know about that. It wasn't worth it, but hey. I only have one more gun that I need to get up to level 3, and I need a bunch of house memories. Or remote thoughts? One of those. I really dislike the upgrade system in this, and the... Oh, this is cool lighting. And the upgrade materials. It feels so worthless. Like, it feels like filler. Which is actually not that pointed a criticism, given that you can ignore that so easily. It's hard to really get mad at.
Another etching, like the one I used to get in here.
It's hard to get mad at something that's so unobtrusive. So that is going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.